Game bans. TF has been very effectively banned on blue side this entire series so far, and we're going to see the Varus first pick. So now they're tired of losing lane with the Senna. They're not actually seeing the benefit from it. Back with Senna Nautilus. Here we go again. Will the Nautilus actually farm this game? TBD. Frescovi going for the Taliyah again, but this is the Nautilus. It's the same 3 champions into the Nautilus yet again. So what are we going to do? You're just going to pick a jungler here. Okay. So what are we playing? What AD top laner are we playing here?
Going to be a very effective front line, and it means that this Rel is going to be in the jungle. Elyoya taking on the responsibility of providing a lot of engage or disengage.
Okay.
Depending on how this game
Interesting that we take the Lilia here. Interesting that we take the Lilia here. I guess, again, you just don't want a champion that actually has a lot of dashes to be countered by Taliyah E. And it gives you some level of poke. Gragas probably mostly going to be using barrel for R here, or like R, his ult, his barrel for disengage. That's what I meant. Dashing in with the body slam, going to be pretty difficult into Taliyah once we get into the mid game. Looks like they wanted just to take a long range matchup that can farm into Jace. There is no primary engage really, besides Alistar. So when we talk about, you have Chains of Corruption, right? And you have for Alistar, you have WQR as your form of engage, but this is not conditional engage because Alistar must go in. Rel is not conditional engage. Rel must go in. So how do you lock down Lilia? It becomes very difficult to actually kill this Lilia. And the Gragas makes a lot of sense because they're going to be trying to kite backwards and heal up with the Senna. So if this team gets priority on objectives, I think it's going to be very, very difficult for Mad Lions to play this game. Like, they have no backline threat. Like, how do you kill Senna, Lilia, or Azir here?
The opportunity with a very, very squishy lineup to just go, cool, can we find a flank position for BB? Because
line on Hansama to be your primary AD threat, and then the question.
I think G2's backline is just so insanely safe.
Just say every magic was this item, and I will give you this reaction.
Nature's something or force of nature.
Matt doesn't really have a flank threat either. So anybody who goes in, whether it's Rel or Alistar, is just going to get isolated due to Azir ult or Lilia ult or Gragas ult, right?
The Mad Lions Koi are bringing to the table. I will say that the beauty of Gragas, for a scout we showed, is a great example of what you can do on this champion. Flanking, like Dagda was talking about it, can be so disruptive to your setups. You think that you've got this nice poke.
It's good poke on the side of Mad Lions, but they need that poke to land.
And then all of a sudden Gragas comes in behind you, the barrel.
This is a lot of this game, I think, is just about who's on the objective first and who has objective priority, because it's a lot easier to play with that because neither team has wonderful primary engage here. G2 has it better, but because they have Gragas barrel, they have Nautilus.
So perhaps that level of disruption is something what they're going to rely on when playing up against the poke that's going to be coming out from him.
A huge amount of that, though, does rely on getting vision control.
The thing is, MDK is like, Mad Lions, like, once they commit to a fight with Rel and Alistar, they have to go all in. The only form of committal, the conditional engage they have is Chains of Corruption on Varus.
So far, it's kind of been where G2 have found their success is great flank opportunities at the cost of Mad Lions Koi.
The other thing I think we have to track, in the previous game it was carry versus carry. This time Mad Lions Koi put Elyoya back on a more supportive role, but Yike remains on one of these scaling jungle picks on the Lilia. Need to see how quickly he can get ahead of the clock. We expect his clear to be faster. We know how important early itemization is for AP junglers. If he can find an edge in the early game here, he can really start to snowball this out of control.
Good word. Spot out Elyoya. We already talked about Frescovi will have push. Super should be able to get push as well. So just trying to see if he can get the invade. But Mickey's now starting to wrap in around in behind him. don't think they're ready for this.
Oh, yeah, health advantage. Red buff as well. They're trying to get fancy with it. Alvaro level 2 on the way forward. Hook out to safety here.
Does it feel unfair or favoritism that one finalist has a live co-streamer and is featured regularly and the other does not? Well, it wouldn't if all teams were allowed to have co-streamers, but with Dom tried to get co-streaming privileges for the LEC, and they told him he wasn't big enough. So basically, I mean, I think it's fucked up that the LEC is doing this because, for example, Mad Lions or Carmine Corp or now Fnatic, because Cadrill's on it, they get extra reach for their sponsors, and it is literally giving certain teams better sponsorship numbers than other teams, and the other teams don't even have a chance to field streamers because they're just getting turned down because they're not big enough. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's incredibly fucked up. They are giving certain teams preferential treatment.
Might have to survive another dive. Yikes, sprinting down to the bottom side of the map. Mad Lions Koi, are they willing to commit? A nice hook back in. They're going to finally finish off Mickey. Good for the top side of the map.
Let's talk about what's going on here, though.
I don't think they're ready for this.
Oh, yeah, health advantage.
So Elyoya coming in to engage here in the jungle on Yike, trying to slow him down because they know his pathing. They saw him on a ward.
G2 losing early lane prio as expected, not costing Yike too much at this point as it's a decent trade on the top side of the map. Mickey trying to input buffer the hook. Hook out to safety here. G2 losing early lane prio as expected, not costing Yike too much at this point as it's a decent trade on the top.
So Mickey tries to get over, but still gets stunned.
It's free damage coming in from Mad Lions Koi, but Mickey's still standing for now. Super trying to finish the kill. Mickey's still living.
It's crazy they live through this.
Blood for Mad Lions Koi, but they might have to survive another dive.
It's a really good invade by Elyoya. Man, Elyoya, again, when we talk about junglers that play super well. What?
But they might have to survive another dive. Yikes, sprinting down to the bottom side of the map. Mad Lions Koi, are they willing to commit? A nice hook back in. They're going to finally finish off Mickey. Good first blood. Alvaro making it out alive.
Okay.
Yikes, sprinting down to the bottom side of the map.
Like, we didn't. This wasn't mandatory. He actually just Qs, W's to a minion, gets rooted there, and walks away.
Making it out alive. And G2 overeager.
With an ambitious play there.
Like, he's a level 2 Alistair. You know he has QW.
He could bring Alvaro underneath the tower. Perhaps the chain CC combo of Hansama on the center with the Nautilus would be enough to trade 1-for-1. But MDK walk away with first blood, and this virus once again is off to a good start.
Body slam connecting. Comet there as well. Mirwin just trying to win out on the extended trade. Nice knockback. Anticipating the follow-up for Brokablade.
He's meant to get his cooldowns, though.
Yeah. Brokablade's a big boy, and Mirwin's running for his life. Flash away. BB holding on to his. And frankly, this is fantastic for BB and G2.
Especially if you look at Yike, who's already on this top side. Mirwin had already TP'd back into lane, doesn't have that available, so nicely done by BB to get that advantage. And now, as Yike, it just feels like rinse and repeat. Top side is BB on this top.
Nice knockback, anticipating the follow-up for Brokablade.
BB's meant to get his cooldowns, though.
Yeah. Brokablade's a big boy.
Yeah.
For his life. Flash away, BB holding on to his. And frankly, this is fantastic for BB and G2.
Brokablade just mind gaming him by not flashing in the top side.
Mirwin had already TP'd back into lane, doesn't have that available, so nicely done by BB to get that advantage. And now, as Yike,
Nagri and Jace always so depressing. True that.
Was a level advantage. But the fact that BB was level 4 to level 3 just meant that he could go for this extended trade and win out. Now he's level 5 to level 3. You can zone him away potentially from the lane. The good news for MDK is that Elyoya is hovering around the top side. It's Lilia going to lose both Scuttle Crabs, but already on the resets of those, on the respawns of the Raptor camp, I should say.
And really, the sole strong point on the map right now for G2 Esports is Brokablade. Yike burned so much time, what should have been a favored early jungle clear, kind of evening out because he had to commit a lot of resources just to showing up bottom lane. Headbutt pulverized going in. Hansama straight into the shroud. The follow-up not quite there. Hansama still living, trying to extend the trade. Has to be careful. When Supa has cooldowns up, he will drop. But if Hansama's forced to recall here, that's devastating.
It's going to give a lot of control here towards Madeline's quick because now they can push him bot. You can even try and
Super already 600 gold ahead. Feels super bad.
If you really want to with Elyoya. Elyoya is a little bit down on XP because of that play he went for on the bottom side compared to Yike, but he's still sticking around here trying to make sure they can pick up this wave.
Next flash forward. Mickey continuing to walk up. Just threatening, just looking menacing. Yike on the way down as well. Hook is going to connect. Alvaro potentially in trouble here. Decent damage now coming from earlier. They're going to try to find the CC. Keep your eyes on Supa. The damage from the Varus is massive, as expected. Yike on the way down as well. Hook is going to connect. Alvaro
Why do they keep trying to hard force this bot side? It's so weird. Like, why are we trying to hard force bot side with the amount of CC that they have? You have a Lilia. They have a Rel and an Alistar. Yeah, what are we doing? Like, Yike just needs to farm up. Why are we trying to get 1 million kills on the bot side? Just fucking let them farm under turret. Jesus.
Just threatening, just looking menacing. Yike on the way down as well. Hook is going to connect. Alvaro potentially in trouble here. Decent damage now coming from earlier. They're going to try to find the CC. Keep your eyes on Supa. The damage from the Varus is massive, as expected in the early game. G2 not giving the respect to Supa that he deserves. The double kill coming through. G2
Now he's 1,300 gold ahead. Quality.
Much from the side of MDK, and Varus is all you need from the damage department. G2 are getting demolished in this early game by Supa.
Nice proxy by Elyoya.
He's just going to be playing with his food right now. The reset can come through.
Denying some CS to Han Sama. It's a complete fucking disaster in bot lane.
incredible from Supa, the setup from the team as well, and once again, G2 just over-eager.
And G2, as you say, the ones that started off, and it's Elyoya who'd already made his way down to this bottom side, so Alvaro with that aftershock buying a ton of time, and Yike is the one who ends up footing the bill as MDK just jump in on top of him, even Mickey falling as well. And Elyoya did try to stop the wave, see if they could go for the dive on towards the Senna as well, but don't even get it, but it doesn't matter. Now you get the reset timer coming in, and early, the full Yomu's Ghost Play completed for Supa. He is so strong.
And in the game that G2 dominated, game 2, they took their gold leads, they tried to move them around the map, they tried to get as many objectives as possible, but when Mad Lions Koi have a lead, they play for kills. They look for these angles. Mickey just barely able to make it out of that one. G2 have to be careful. Mad Lions Koi's always bloodthirsty, but doubly so when they have an advantage. Broken Blade level 6 on the top side of the map. Mirwan trying to find an advantageous trade. No ulti available for Broken Blade. Had already used it, but level 7 now. A gap in the top lane starting to emerge, and Yike trying to get something back here.
Freskevi's not moving top. Mirwan's going to be shown now, so they're actually going to go for the counter punch on bot lane to this.
Good damage, and
They could have been playing around top this entire time, by the way. You know what I mean? Like, Broken Blade has just been bopping Mirwan in the top side of the map. They blind picked this Jace.
Freskevi's not moving top. Mirwan's going to be shown now, so they're actually going to go for the counter punch on bot lane to this.
Good damage, and instantly the play's already worked out in the favor of G2 on the bottom side of the map. Mickey could find himself in trouble, but can't hook back to the tower. Supa's damage has to be respected here. Mickey should just drop, waiting for the...
You guys don't like my conditional engage? You want me to do committed engage and non-committed engage? Call it that too. I don't give a fuck. Non-committed engage. Like a not ult. Committed engage. Like an Alistar. WQ.
You know, lads, I felt like that it was G2 that learned that you can't afford to give the Varus into the center matchup. Turns out that there's still some
Nobody
learning to
has
do.
learned, Caps. Full committing to the play there. Frescawi forced to respect Flash in fear of the shuffle coming through.
But look at this Varus now.
It would be committed and non-committed, not committal and non-committal.
He's already going to have an item on his next.
But yeah.
And I think this is
dangerously low.
Flick back, not quite going to connect. Caps with just enough movement speed, has the brown bags, boots level 1.
So how does this now shift the dynamic moving forward? Because we think back to the
I don't like labels, but we have to label this something.
The deficit, Yike being on the Diego gave them the opportunity to turn these fights around.
We have to label it something because it's a very important concept in League of Legends.
Type of carry potential, especially when you kind of look at the utility that's sitting on the side of MDK. Yeah, their top side of the map is struggling for the time being, but Mirwan just needs to provide that poke later on into the game. There's now a 2-level difference.
Knockback there.
Jesus.
Good damage from BB. Does he want
We were getting absolutely bopped this game.
concerned quite yet, but might be forced to recall again.
But Mirwan right now is sitting there saying, like, you can emote me, you can bully me, you can do whatever you want. My Varus is 4-0. Okay, you're going to have to deal with that later.
And I gotta say, credit to Supa. You know, we talked to this guy, obviously when we look at EMEA Masters Finals, he wasn't able to perform at the level that he wanted to. He talked very openly about like the nerves playing on stage. He said it was rectified, and we can see that. He played 2 back-to-back 5-game series. Yes, there were some hiccups. Yes, there were some lackluster games. But here, backs against the wall against G2 in a finals that...
Can't we just vibe and see where the engage goes? No, because we're not Zoomers.
He is performing. He is 4-0 once again, and G2 just continue to underestimate what he can do.
We are intelligent adults who make decisions about things. We don't wait to see where the vibes go. We don't have time for that bullshit. Imagine having to wait for vibes instead of just knowing what you want. Waiting for vibes is called wasting your life, guys. It's called wasting your life. Because you don't know what the fuck you want. That's what waiting for vibes is.
Caught out in the rotation. Aftershock still ticking. Blast cone denied. Want to take this one slow. Don't want to overcommit here. Supa still waiting over the wall. Rue coming in from Hansama. Follow-up damage there, but Mad Lions Koi just threatening. Do what you won't.
The vibes should be clear. Always. Don't need to wait for vibes.
Can't quite find the fall. Forcing out the flash. Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, in the picture, it's a 1v1. Broken Blade finding the Baba. The knockback into tower. One shot landing onto Mirwin in the meantime. Mirwin now running. Broken Blade, the angle was good. Creep wave there to block the body slam. Mirwin now needs to backstep.
Hey, Tasmo.
Movement speed and Supa now looking to follow up. Ulti connecting on Mickey. Elio off to the side. Should be a quick kill. Meanwhile, in the picture, the 1v1 continues. Supa unstoppable.
All right, let's go back and take a look at all of this shenanigans.
Yet these players still play with the utmost confidence. Look at this, already threatening another dive. Hansama being zoned away from this tower as more plates get funneled in. Now G2 is trying to answer.
Caught out in the rotation. Aftershock.
Alvaro pre-6 here and take a lot of damage from the engage. Talia E goes down, so they're not going to pursue this.
But Mad Lions Koi just threatening. Do what you won't, they say. And now looking to make a counterplay of their own. Instant engage.
Nice engage by Alvaro. They didn't expect this after Alvaro got chunked out. Somehow lives.
The knockback into tower. One shot landing onto Mirwin in the meantime. Mirwin now running. Broken Blade, the angle was good. Creep wave there to block the body.
So he gets health back from his W. Nice plays by Elioya here. Really nice by Mad Lions. So Frescovi actually tries to make his way back up into the mid lane, but he gets intercepted by Yike here, who's waiting in the brush. And he just gets chased down because he actually just can't do anything to Lilia. I mean, Talia cannot do anything to Lilia. Lilia does not get stunned by E. You are not going to hit W. So if the Lilia gets on top of you as Talia, you just die. Like that.
Respects it. He's learned this lesson the hard way more than once.
BB still thinks the Mirwin's here.
Well, I think he's just setting it for a freeze right now. He knows that he's going to slowly regenerate that HP. Doesn't want to go back to base just yet, forcing Mirwin to lose as much farm as possible. Credit to Broken Blade, who's playing this lane incredibly well. But we kind of break down what's happening there. Caps was able to work with Yike to find a kill onto Frescowi. That gives him a bit of an advantage in the mid lane. Meanwhile, in bot, Supa continues to extend his lead.
We're going to have 4 horsemen for the Adam situation. No, it's not worth it. We are going to have a lot more 4 horsemen this year, though. We've got EG files to do. We've got update on esports winter. We have the CDL lawsuits. Lots of stuff. Okay, so first scrubs going down at 11 minutes. Pretty late, but all the action's been in the bot side. Frescovi uses his W onto the minion wave. And so when they see that, it's time for Frescovi to die. Using your EW combo to clear out the minion waves.
He just keeps getting forced back. The trades look okay, but the sustain of Gragas is making this so difficult. But the split map is real now.
Yeah, the 3-level diff is just huge. He's been zoned off so many waves. He's been killed under the turret while the wave was crashing. It's not going to get better either because Broken Blade has Rod that's stacking now.
This means that you can actually have G2 come up towards this top half and turn this around.
Broken Blade just trying to find the solo kill on Amir when the knockback is clean, though. Broken Blade caught out here. Elyoya, the follow-up now
Up.
through. Broken Blade
Here comes Yike.
goes in, and that's going to be more than enough damage. Elyoya now running for his life. G2 find the counter punch on the top side of the map, barely holding on to their bottom lane tower. Super stepping forward, gets that one down.
I mean, Supa is 5 kills, though. So, I love split map scenarios like this, though. I actually really enjoy games where, like, one side of the map gets fed from one team and the other side of the map gets fed from the other team, because then it becomes a battle of who can carry, and also who can be useful in spite of being behind, if you guys know what I mean. Like, obviously Senna, because Senna's still, I mean, relatively farmed, still massively behind in CS. But Senna's going to be a much more useful champion from behind, because at least she can heal, than we're going to see from the top side, from this Jace. I mean, look at Jace's build, too. He had to go Hex Drinker tier. He's got Hex Drinker tier. He has no lethality yet. He is a giant turd. Right? At least there's a Ghost Blade here.
Elyoya waiting on the CC, won't quite connect. It's just going to leap out to safety. Alvaro there to cover.
I think wise not to look for that hook, given that Super is there.
So Supa has to be the big carry, guys. He's got to put on his big boy carry pants and carry this game, because surely he wins this game and takes us to a game 5, right, guys? Because he's a really good player who's definitely going to carry the shit out of this game with the lead he got, right, guys? Right?
He's only sitting at 29, 13 and a half minutes into the game.
Yep, that's what I think is going to happen.
To know that is not a lot.
Nope. Would certainly like to have a lot more at this point in the game. And the top side of G2 is incredibly powerful. Mad Lions Koi, the path out of this.
I mean, look at the goal.
It's leveraging the strength of Supa, and Supa is damn strong. Yeah. At this point in the game. And the top side of G2 is incredibly powerful.
Yike just walking directly into an Alistair. Okay.
I mean, look at the goal.
It's leveraging the strength of Supa, and Supa is damn
You know, we all make choices in our lives.
no matter how good your jungle is going, no matter how good
Maybe we should just walk into the super fed Varus with a Alistair right next to him.
You have a 3k gold advantage spread across 3 members on the top side, and all of it funneled into Super on the bot. Caps looking for a 1v1. He should win this.
Continuing to put Mirwin in further down. He's going to flash commit for the play. Mirwin backstepping into the brush here.
Do we flash for Mirwin right now? Like, legit question. Do we flash for him? He's not even worth money.
There is, and the Mad Lions Supa. Godlike Mad Lions Koi do not take their foot off the gas. Mirwin still running. Cap spending so much time to try to finish off this Jace. Will finally get the kill back, but he's already lost the mid.
He got 220 gold from him.
Lost control over the mid lane, which means he lost control over Rift Herald. MDK going to move over. Super, though, isn't there. He's moving bot side.
Like, it's not worth to use flash there, guys.
Gone already. And Mad Lions Koi, they're just
He got 220 gold. You can see it on the overlay.
Flash commit for the play. Mirwin time to try
Super, though, is over the mid lane, which means
to get the kill back, but he's already
Right here.
lost the mid lane tower.
and you've lost control over the mid lane, which means you've lost
Yeah, and
control
that's a good
over
point, Tasty. He's not going to have flash for the Drake fight either. And they give up Herald, so it's not worth.
But it's gone already. And Mad Lions Koi, they're just trying to play around Super and make sure he's safe. But Mirwin struggling a lot in this game.
Mirwin certainly put down, but for G2, you can keep bullying the Jace. You can try to find these pressure points, but Varus is so.
It might have been worth it if you could translate that into a turret, but you can't, so.
And the gold lead disappears, but they don't have the buy that they did in game 1. It's not the easy access target that it once was, and now once again.
It's not about the gold, it's about putting Jace even further behind. It's about showing this Jace a lesson. You don't have to flash to do that. You can just push him off the turret with your soldiers.
Particularly towards that top side where BB is to get that last remaining outer tower. And because of how strong Super is, you can't contest the.
Oh my God. He finished Maw, guys. He finished Maw. He's such a turd.
with Super. So now
He is such a turd, guys. Like, I get why he finishes Maw, because the only threat to him is AP because of how far behind Hansama is. Like, I get the thought process here, but he's just going to be so fucking useless.
Fantastic. Let's all move top, and BB has to skedaddle ASAP, or he's in trouble.
He does indeed. Well, he has to skedaddle at least a little bit, to Rob's point.
Because my question is, like, who's he afraid of? Super. As long as Super's not there, I feel like he feels pretty confident.
Yeah, but I think this is where, so you can see he pushes in mid and you roam with Super
For sure,
towards top,
for sure,
so now he
yeah,
has to move back. Now Super will move back towards mid as the wave is coming in again, but you just get to keep doing this over and over. It's really hard for G2 to play this game right.
Merwin
do have the cross map option available, and it looks like Merwin is going to be the
pushback
trade.
is there. Merwin will die. Yike. A little bit close there, but G2 just going to look to follow up with a tower of their own. Broken Blade, nice interrupt on the headbutt pulverized combo. Super coming up to the top side of the map. Flash out early, knowing that that bar assault connects, he's dead. Broken Blade doing everything he can to clear that wave to make sure that.
And now we get Naster's 2 split pushing Azir, getting massive amounts of gold. He's going to do it even faster once he hits death cap. All right, guys, I'm actually going to go back here. So I'm actually going to go back and see exactly what the fuck happened to Merwin this game right from the get-go. Because right here, they're both level 1. Okay, he's stacking a wave. It's a level 3. No, it's a third wave crash. It's not crashing. I think it's just frozen. Yeah, it's actually just frozen. So he pushes it forward, and somehow we end up with a freeze right here instead of a third wave crash. And he takes a fuck ton of harass in the top side. Then they both recall, but the wave is frozen. The freeze is slowly breaking, and it's being pushed back out. But Merwin is a level down and only has tier Endurance Blade compared to Ruby Crystal. So health bigger for Broken Blade, and he's just chasing him around, all-inning him. Blows his mind games him to blow his flash. Pushes it into turret. So he loses about a wave and a half right there into turret. There's some proxy farming that's going on. No plates taken off of this, but there's another wave in. So the wave is now going to bounce back out. Okay, we don't care about what's happening in bot side. The wave is now slow pushing out into the top lane here at 6 minutes. And is there another freeze that happens? No, we see... Okay, can I see that for 1 second, please? Observers? No, I don't care about this. Show me top side, please. Okay, show me top side. He hits level 6 first because he has the XP advantage from denying into turret. Wave is just sitting in the middle of the lane, basically evenly. He clears the wave, pushes it forward. What is Merwin doing? Where's he going? I guess his job is to check and see if Lilia is on grubs. Sees that Lilia's not on grubs, then walks up. There's a pink ward in the brush, though. So he actually sacrifices a ton of his wave for this. I don't know why he's in river right now. What is he going to do if they're... Like, here's my question, guys. What is he going to do if Lilia's on grubs? What is he going to do with this information? Because he knows that Elyoya is down here, right? So what happens if he sees them getting grubs? Is he getting plant? He's getting honey fruit. Okay, fair enough. So he goes out to get honey fruit because he's at 50% HP. So he walks all the way into river, but Broken Blade doesn't see him, so Broken Blade just instantly clears the wave. Good eye, guys, good eye. So he does get honey fruit, and he comes back in, but he loses literally an entire minion wave. So now he's in with a level 6 Gragas, and he's trying to just walk in. And so Broken Blade is now 2 levels up because of all the minion denial. Now he dies and he loses this wave too. So he died, doesn't have TP, loses at least 2 minion waves into his turret just to get honey fruit. And I don't know why he goes through the river. But that freeze, I think, really hurt earlier. And I mean, Broken Blade has played this really well because he knows that Elyoya has just been perma bot side. And Mirwin's just trying to survive. But, you know, in doing a lot of this, he's being just mega harassed off the wave, and he doesn't have any kind of jungle support in the top side. And Broken Blade's playing into that.
Maybe there's a rinse and repeat angle here for Yike on that top side, though, as Mirren gets back. But with BB resetting, that's not going to be there.
You know, lads, I felt like that it was G2 that learned that you can't afford to give the virus into the center matchup. Turns out that there's still some
Nobody
learning to
has
do.
learned. Caps. Full committing to the play there. Frescowi forced to respect Flash in fear of the shuffle.
Yeah, the passive healing for Gragas is really huge over a sustained laning phase, and he can catch up to the Jace too by slowing him with Q and then coming in with E.
Flick back, not quite going to connect. Caps with just enough movement speed has the brown bag.
Diego. Yeah, they're top.
The dive though, Mirwin.
Struggling for the resets that he was able to find. I don't know if Lily.
And there's another freeze that's happening. I mean, the minion wave state has been super good for Broken Blade this entire time.
Yeah, the top side of the map is struggling for the time being, but Mirwin just
You can cancel Jace Hammer Smash with his E, the Jace knockback.
Knockback there. Good damage from BB. Does he want to go for the dive though? Mirwin not too concerned quite yet, but might be forced to recall again.
But Mirwin right now is sitting there saying like, you can emote me, you can bully me, you can do whatever you want. My virus is 4-0. Okay, you're gonna have to deal with that later.
And I gotta say credit to Supa. You know, we talked to this guy, obviously when we look at EMEA Masters Finals, he wasn't able to perform at the level that he wanted to. He talked very openly about like the nerves playing on stage. He said it was rectified, and we can see that. He played 2 back-to-back 5-game series. Yes, there were some hiccups. Yes, there were some lackluster games. But here, backs against the wall against G2 in a finals that not a lot of people expected you to reach. I would say just about nobody outside of the Koi fans here. He is performing. He is 4-0 once again, and G2 just continue to underestimate what he can do.
Mad Lions Koi on the cusp of bringing us to another Game 5. What an incredible achievement that alone would be from these young players. We already talked about the physical toll playing this many games can have, playing on stage, but the mental, the emotional stress. Yet these players still play with the utmost confidence. Look at this already.
To the skies.
Being zoned away from this tower as more plays get funneled in. Now G2 is trying to answer.
Caught out on the road.
Jace in Emerald Plus in 14-1. Jace has a 42.7% win rate against Gragas in top lane. So Gragas good lane counter, at least in solo queue. I'm looking at it now.
Rotation, Aftershock still ticking, Blast Cone denied. Want to take this one slow, don't want to overcommit here. Supa still waiting over the wall. Root coming in from Hansama, follow-up damage there, but Mad Lions Koi just threatening. Do it, you won't, they say. And now looking to make a counterplay of their own. Instant engage, taxiing off of Mickey into Hansama, but Elyoya...
Yeah, Gragas passive should be able to sustain most of the Jace damage in the early game. And then he just has such crazy good all-in potential onto Jace too. And he can poke. And he forces Jace into weird builds, like having to take Hex Drinker early.
For a freeze right now. He knows that he's going to slowly regenerate that HP. Doesn't want to go back to base just yet, forcing Mirwin to lose as much farm as possible. Credit to Broken Blade, who's playing this lane incredibly well. But we kind of break down what's happening there.
Okay, need to play around Supa on this bot lane, and wherever Supa is, that's where Mad Lions need to put their focus. Elyoya, though, starting to move topside.
Yeah, fleet footwork, I think, I agree with you, Ioyos. Fleet footwork would at least allow him to have sustain and to play around energized procs so that maybe he could dodge some Qs or Es from Gragas, right? Phase Rush seems bad here.
Top half, and turn this around.
Broken Blade just trying to find the solo kill on Demir when the knockback is clean, though. Broken Blade caught out here. Elyoya, the follow-up now coming through. Broken Blade just looking for the reset. Yike goes.
Come up towards this top half.
I like how Broken Blade plays this, where he gets the drunken rage and then he just presses S and stands there, waiting for Yike to show up, drawing them in.
is like G2 find the counter punch on the top side of the map, barely holding on to their bottom lane tower. Super stepping forward.
BC Pancakes, fleet or grasp, that makes sense to me. Sorry, I'm trying to understand this matchup better and why it worked out the way it did, because like it's a huge part of this game, so that's why I went back and looked at it. Hopefully it was helpful for everybody. It was helpful for me.
Flash out early, knowing that that Barisal connects, he's dead. Broken Blade doing everything he can to clear that wave to make sure that Mad Lions Koi cannot win out on the trade. Cap's willing to tank the tower just to make it a 1-for-1.
BB managing to clear the wave before that ends up happening means that you're just about able to match the play from MDK. So at least G2 managing to keep themselves in somewhat check. But I think again this is where it starts to get more and more difficult. With Dragon in a minute 45, you just rinse and repeat, but move towards bot side here as MDK. Establish all that vision control on the bottom side jungle. Make sure that there's not really an opportunity for G2 to contest the next Dragon. The only thing you have to be aware of is what Alvaro is looking for right now and about to clear out is the vision control that G2 have littered on this bottom side to make sure there's no like TP flank for BB, because that is pretty much the only way that Supa dies, and they are from Caps getting involved. And right now BB and Caps are at very
Yeah, blinding the Jace seems really crazy. Maybe they were trying to deny it from Broken Blade because they thought they saw Azir Lilia and they thought that they were going to pick the Jace. Kind of weird, though. Like, why not just blind Gnar?
To assassinate Super, whereas MDK are going to look to protect him.
Okay, just to put it in perspective, Caps is 2k ahead of Frescowi, but Supa is 2k ahead of Caps.
I want to look at that ward in mid lane, though. You can see it there. Really nice one that they've actually placed just in that mid. So you can look for that. Thank you, observers, for a TP ward for BB. I think that's all they're trying to play for. Maybe you can look for Caps instead with his flash being up a little bit sooner. But as long as MDK are able to avoid mid-wave, they're going to be fine. This is the struggle, though, as wave is about to bounce. And Sam is going to shove this wave out. That's when you can look for... Oh, my Jesus. That is so much damage.
That's all the gold. Mickey now fishing for the angle, and that's the ward that you called out earlier, Rob. Here comes the double TP from the side of G2. They found a bit of CZ, but Supa flashes out to safety. The Varus still standing. The Swirl Slid connects. The sleeve coming through. They have to kill Supa. The Mad Lions Koi will not let
Oh, huge engage. Huge engage from Caps. I mean, Alvaro does everything he can. He flashed WQs to try and stop Yike. But Frescovi's just being chased this entire time. And his E's on cooldown, he just used it here. So he actually cannot stop the Caps engage. They hit a nice chain of corruption, but everybody else too fast dodges out from the spread. And Caps finds an angle because E is down from Talia until right now. He uses it as soon as he can. Yeah, he got hit by the ball, so he immediately gets slept. And the E being on cooldown is absolutely massive. Broken Blade got the shutdown gold, too. Yeah, I talked a little bit about the Blast Cone bug. I'm not sure how much it actually affected that game because the Baron push had been stopped anyway because they picked off Alvaro. I still think G2 wins that game, but clearly it accelerated their win.
This is it. Supa shuts down Hansama. He can't get into this fight. But with that double TP, they realize Supa's overextended. Oh, from Mickey locks him up. Caps and BB come through. And then Yike with this great swirl seed straight onto the back, channels the Drowsy, and buys time for Caps to get in to not come back with the swoop boom.
Really want to acknowledge how well MDK peeled, and it still wasn't enough. The Rel ultimate was incredible. The Talia using what she can to keep the Nautilus from connecting on. When Alvaro joined the fight, he's CCing everyone from diving on top of him, blocking the engage from Broken Blade, and it still couldn't to keep the Nautilus.
It made Roman come, guys. Look at him. Oh, he came. He came from that team fight. He had a G2 gasm. They hit his G2 spot. Guys, they hit his G2 spot.
He dodges everything but one swirl seed, and that is what kills him. And that's what's infuriating about playing against this G2 composition. As we highlighted, they have so many tools. Super can't afford to get hit by anything. Any single piece of CC could result in his death.
But this is the thing now, Super has no summoner spells, and you got BB with Flash coming up, Caps, Flash coming up. These are the plays that you can make to get on towards Super and turn this fight around, and Mirren is just nothing in this game. All he has is a maw and a dream that he can maybe deal damage one day, but he's a long way away from that. So if you can get Super, this game is so easy for G2 to continue forward.
Nothing but credit to Broken Blade. 15 to level 11 in the top lane. It has been an absolute top gap in this game. Mickey, though, I think he's been caught out.
Buffered hook isn't going to matter. The flick back is there. Good pick.
Level 11 in the top lane. It has been an absolute top gap.
All right. I wouldn't blame Mickey too much for this. He should be relatively safe here. Right? He has to get smote. He does buffer the hook. They have to use ults to kill him. I don't think that's Mickey's fault, guys. That was pretty safe.
Everyone holds their breath.
Yeah, I think if they had pressure from Mirren on that bot side, maybe they could look to start Baron and like force G2 to decide between losing a tier 2 bot or the Baron. But because Mirren's so far behind, BB's just consistently able to push in, so they can't really do much. And this is where that lack of a Jace on the side lane is coming back to bite MDK, because picks like this.
Yeah, I mean, his first death in this game was pretty egregious, where he tried to kill the Alistar and just died. Yeah, guys, come on. Supa's 4,000 gold ahead. Surely he's a big man, gonna carry this game, because he's so good. I mean, he knows Supa's walking up here, by the way, Mickey. He just saw him walking up here on the mid wave. I do love that he like has just been kind of just dying and then walking forward and then dying again over and over.
9 kills sit on Super's shoulders, and it's all well and good getting these picks onto Mickey, but that gold injection really doesn't mean that much. They're not really converting these picks into that many objectives. Mickey makes his way back out onto the map.
All right, he's gonna respawn. He's going back, guys. He's going back. He thinks this is like an MMO where you have to go back to your body to get your gear, guys. Yeah, he has to keep going back to his body to get his gear. Otherwise, he won't have his items anymore. That's okay. He has his items now. He's playing Dark Souls. Seems like he's dying like he would be playing Dark Souls.
A little bit more diligent after that last play that from G2 found Super.
I think it's important to note that everything came together in that last play to make it work out in the favor of G2. Mad Lions Koi are still incredibly strong. Yes, Broken Blade is ahead, but him bringing his power to bear is a tricky task. There's a lot of CC, there's a lot of tools to stop him from getting on top of Supa. G2 cannot find the flank, and you can see already they're struggling just to retain control of their topside vision. As Mickey is once again getting caught out, Supa can just follow up with another ultimate. Broken Blade in the area. G2 cannot find the flank, and you can see
No pressure in the mid lane. Casually trying to take a ward out here when they have hard engage from Alistar. Has to flash. It's okay, Broken Blade's here. He'll save him. All right, Supa is doing nothing. K shoots. Yikes there. He flashes over the wall, forces Supa's flash immediately. Broken Blade flashes on top of him too. So watch this. Comes over the wall. Forces his flash. Broken Blade. That is a sick body slam over the wall into flash for the knockback. Broken Blade plays that super well.
just doesn't have the damage. He goes in, he tries to give his life, but it's not enough. G2 topside is too damn strong, and once again, it is just the Yike show. They're gonna give him the penta. 4 looking for 5 as Elyoya runs.
Yoya, you really flashed.
Topside is too damn strong, and once again, it is just the Yike show. They're gonna give him the penta. 4 looking
This
for 5.
this motherfucker really flashed over that wall to try and deny a penta. He was 1000% dead in that situation. He can never run away from the Lilia. That's so bad.
MDK think they've caught Mickey, but BB was in the bottom lane. He's able to join. The TP wards were there once more for Caps. He joins in, and with a pentakill to boot, G2 in game 4 will take the Baron.
Broken Blade just makes it so difficult.
Where was the stream outage, guys? Because this VOD is not
Has put a masterclass on in the top lane.
this VOD is not interrupted.
And they think, oh, we've caught Mickey out again, another free kill, but this time his brother in the top lane is there providing that peel. But he says, you know what,
Oh,
Mickey,
it's right now?
I've got a new target in my eyes. Yike,
How come this one isn't affected? Oh, was it on Twitch and not on YouTube?
isolated.
Because I'm watching it on YouTube. Maybe it was only on Twitch.
Mickey placed right as he was going forward the ties that gets Caps into this play, so they completely sandwich. Super on
Both
the
died?
backside, and then G2, these
How is this okay then? The in-house just kept working? Yeah, but that's fine and dandy, but I'm watching this. Oh, I guess they uploaded the proper version of the game. So Riot must have uploaded the proper version. Okay, fair enough.
isolated skirmishes work fantastic.
No, this isn't Riot's channel, though. This isn't Riot's channel. Oh, I guess it is Riot's channel. It is Riot's channel. Okay.
For their solo laners who have these massive leads. Again, Mirren can't even finish off BB as Yike finally gets the penta to round it out.
Yeah, it is Riot's channel. Monty giving Riot ad rev. Well, I'm myself my one viewer, but I'm getting like, I don't know, where there's 900 people on this stream. There's 600 people on my YouTube. So I'm literally denying them 1,500 people worth of revenue. So really, it's kind of a Robin Hood situation here. Like they're technically getting my revenue, but I'm also having 1,500 people not watch it on their stream. Congrats, Robin Hood crew.
Mickey, who's been dying the entire game, just Aftershock keeping him alive. If they cannot protect Supa, they don't have a chance in
Shout out to YouTube, by the way. My YouTube live stream just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
It's just Mickey sneaking in and getting the word in behind.
Have a good day to you too, Sigmarito. They rebroadcast it after the stream.
That allows them to come in from multiple different angles, and because you have to worry about Caps, because you have to worry about BB, there's just too many angles of attack, and Mad Lions Koi just haven't got their back covered, and G2 are taking advantage of it every time.
Let's all thank Mark Bell for the free content he made. Yeah, I mean, he got a Lifetime Achievement Award for esports before I did. It's pretty amazing that how much he did for esports, even though I've been in esports for 20 years. But no, it's okay. Mark Merrill deserves a Lifetime Award before Monty. Or Thorin. Crazy.
He will secure a tier 2 tower, but this is a Baron-empowered G2 that are very close to breaking open.
Very cool esports awards. Very cool.
Just keeping an eye on Mirwan on the top side of the map. Does have access to his TP if he wants it. Tower set up behind G2 to cover any potential avenue of attack. Cover those flanks. TP now being used by Broken Blade. Weaver's Wall, nice placement. Buys a bit more space, allows Mad Lions Koi to clear another wave. Supa's ult not quite connecting. Could have been a window of opportunity for Mad Lions Koi. Flick back.
Mark Merrill got caught getting boosted. Of course I do. I know the only Jaximus incident in which he then paid a fine by donating to a weird cult-like charity that he is also on the board of. That guy is so fucking strange, I can't handle it.
They win a fight here, they can just end the game. Mickey hooking in. Caps going for the scoop, and he hits Supa, and that might just be it. In the blink of an eye, Caps finds the angle. Mirwan off to the side doing absolutely nothing. Frescowi untouched, but there's just no damage left for Mad Lions Koi. Everything was in their AD carry, and it is Caps who hand delivers Supa to his backline. Frescowi caught as well. Mickey X fishing for a bit of redemption here on the back of that one, but Frescowi still standing. Wave now coming in. One last desperate hold. Mirwin is up. Can he be the difference maker? Moving in on the Caps has 1,000 gold. G2 want to end it, but they've given away 1,000 gold just for the attempt, and they'll be forced to back away.
We say anything about Adam and the status of BDS? Like, what? There's not much to say, guys. We'll talk about this on SI tomorrow, but like, he's just kind of a shitter, and he got punished for being a shitter. I hope that he becomes not a shitter in the future, so his team can actually do well. That's what I hope. Just stop being a douche. It's not complicated, guys. Like, what do you want me to say? Submit to authority, you shitter. Learn how coaches and management work. It's for your own good.
Frescowi is doing what he can, but it just isn't enough damage. Mirwin gets zoned away, and at this point, G2 just getting a little overzealous. Caps goes for an extremely ambitious play, a nice interrupt.
Just a little happy gaming at the end, guys. Just a little G2 happy gaming. We're used to this. We're used to G2 happy gaming.
They'll look for another opportunity to bring us to a game 5, but G2 are in firm control of this game.
A minute and 20 seconds.
As a coach, would you bench too? Depends on the situation. Like, if it sounds like it escalated pretty far, and what's your choice? If you don't bench him, then it just enables him to be even worse in the future. So I think I would probably rather take a third place finish in winter than potentially destroy my entire year and more important games later in the year. If you have confidence that your team is going to do well later in the year, and if you're BDS, why wouldn't you? You have very strong fundamentals. You're a very well-coached team. I think you absolutely bench him.
It means that you can immediately get access on that flank opportunity if you want to. Mickey on his hero mission as well, secret agent, to try and get some vision in behind them as well as MDK start to push up mid. And it's all about these wards, all about these TPs. BBs nearly up but not quite, should be available as they try and go through it. Now you can push mid and always have access to G2 to wrap in behind them. Caps on that top side as well, making sure that he's going to be able to push.
Are we talking about, I'm sorry, are we talking about Adam in the same breath as Kobe and Michael Jordan? Because clearly guys, let me explain something to you. You have shitter leeway if you're good enough. If you are good enough and you are Michael Jordan, you can be as much of a shitter as you want. This is Adam. This is not Michael Jordan. BDS's strength does not come from individual players. It comes from team coordination and submitting to coaching. They are more than the sum of their parts. Adam is not the best top laner in LEC. He is not the best top laner in the world. He is not the best player in the world. He doesn't get to be a shitter, guys. Just how it works. He doesn't have the shitter license. Okay? That's it. You have to earn the shitter license. Has Adam earned the shitter license? No.
For himself, and Mirwin honestly can't really deal with this. He's just too far behind.
Power getting taken down in the meantime. Mad Lions Koi grouped up, desperate to get this soul. Caps keeping the pressure on the top side of the map. Mickey looked like he might have been caught out, but Mad Lions Koi don't want to overcommit. He's buying a bit more time for the team, for the lineup. Knock-up going down onto Supa. Not really much of an angle. The pick is there, but here comes Caps once again. Supa this time has flash.
Yeah, that's another good point, Zachary Blobman. Kobe and Jordan were asses, but worked harder than anyone on their teams. Adam quitting scrims doesn't match up with that. Exactly. It's also what he's doing. He's not pissed because his other teammates aren't practicing enough. He's literally just being a giant baby. He's not being a competitor. He's being a fucking baby. If you are a competitor, you don't quit practicing, you fucking idiots. Like, why? That's antithetical to being a competitor. Because to be a competitor, one must compete. Ancient Confucian saying.
He's already been rooted up. Dashing in his Caps. Desperate to finish off the kill. Supa blinking health bar. Hansama looking to finish the job. Supa has a bit more space to work with. Mad Lions Koi looking to turn it back. Their AD carry still standing. Mad Lions Koi holding the line.
They need to keep Mad Lions Koi back.
Supa has a bit more space. down onto Supa. Not really much of an angle to pick is there, but Caps keeping the pressure on the top side of the map.
Mickey just casually in Narnia. He's just casually in Narnia while his team is pushing up. He knows. So, for example, Elyoya is on Scuttle Crab right now. He knows that at least Elyoya is there while his team is pushing mid, and his mid laner Caps is in the top side, waiting to TP.
Going down onto Supa. Not really much of an angle to pick is there, but here comes Caps once again. Supa this time has flash, but he's already been rooted up. Dashing in his Caps, desperate to finish off the kill. Supa blinking health bar. Hansama looking to finish the job. Supa has a bit more space to work with. Mad Lions Koi looking to turn it back. Their AD carry still standing. Mad Lions Koi holding the line.
They need to keep Mad Lions Koi back. They need to keep G2 off the dragon. Supa so low, has to go back. There's a massive minion wave that's meant to crash onto one Nexus turret, so G2 going to start up the dragon.
MDK can afford
They did fix the Deadstream part. I think they uploaded a VOD to this channel.
Ready to come over the wall. Oh, body slam doesn't go over. Crucially, Yike godlike. Objectives should go down, but Elyoya waiting in the darkness.
If he can steal this, they get the soul. I guess that's why he's hanging around, but that opportunity will not be given. Baron is up. Sama gonna walk right past Elyoya. Level 16 nearly coming through for Yike. The Baron seems to be the call for G2. They know they have the numbers advantage. Caps is going to be up in 10 seconds. No TP, though.
But the thing is, G2 are so far ahead that they can lose a play, that they can lose a couple of kills when it doesn't matter. Supa lost Flash in that fight, and that means he has to play even more flawlessly in the next one. He has to dodge even more than he did in the previous exchange. It is so hard for Mad Lions Koi to climb their way out of...
What will happen with Carmine Corp? Here's my prediction. Carmine Corp will get slightly better, but still be relatively non-competitive in the grand scheme of things. Carmine Corp fans will take this as a giant victory and a symbol of Kometo's genius for kicking Yamato Cannon, and they will descend into like 7th place status, barely scraping into the playoffs. But a lot of that is just because of work Yamato already did and the fact that they were winning late in the split.
A sense of tension after that last fight. MDK proved that it only takes a single fumble from G2 for them to keep their AD carry alive and potentially turn around the fight. And that's what they're hoping for. G2 looking to...
And the French Carmine Corp fans are so stupid that they are going to just take this as evidence of Kometo's genius.
Initial advantage to the side of G2. A lot of resources burned from MDK.
Edge of Night burned on Supa, though, means that he can't really step up, and that means that Caps might have an opportunity to try and go for or BB. Can they move in here? Terra's going low.
A lot of resources to greed here. X-Flash from Elyoya has taken away.
Ooh, nice flash by Caps.
X-Flash from Elyoya has taken away the veil from Caps.
Very nice.
Rise is not going to connect from Alvaro. He's immediately going to ult and try to make his way out to safety. Initial advantage to the side of G2. A lot of resources burned from MDK.
And that means that their entire engage is gone now, guys. Their entire engage is now gone.
And that means that Caps might have an opportunity to try and go for or BB. Can they move in here? Terra's going low.
So now they just lose tower. And they lose game.
The team, Broken Blade essentially unaffected. Another inhibitor going to fall. Wall behind. Mirwin,
Who's locked in with who, though?
Unleash a little bit of poke here, but it's a bit awkward overall. Alvaro
He literally walled Mirwin out.
on the backside again. Just gets scooped up. Caps will not give him a chance to play this game. G2 going for the pro. G2 looking to end it here. Mirwin holding on, running. Mav Malmortius not nearly enough. G2 continue to push forward. Frescowie taking out a wave on the top side. Should just do it. Yike chasing for one final kill. Full confidence. You can be a rookie, you can be a veteran, but nobody takes a title from G2.
Congrats to G2 on their 1 bazillionth title.